Get ready for a big financial break because XRP is going through the roof. By the end of 2024, it could hit $1,650 to $2,900. I'm not just making this up for shock value. This is based on a major improvement, the coming out of an XRP ETF. Think about this. One of the biggest banks in the world, BlackRock, which made a successful Bitcoin ETF, is now working on XRP. BlackRock's move into XRP is a big deal because they have an amazing track record of getting almost all of their ETF proposals approved. There's more though. BlackRock isn't the only one making waves. There is also Grayscale in the game. They have not only suggested an XRP ETF, but they have also added XRP to their list of cryptocurrencies. This shows how XRP and Ripple Labs are becoming more important in foreign transfers. Hello everyone at CoinGraph. Welcome back to the place where you can find everything about XRP. Let's quickly touch base before we get into the meat of today's posts. Please do me a small favor. There you have it. To join our great group, hit the like button, subscribe and notification bell. Also, here's a heads up. As we get closer to 13,000 subscribers, we're getting ready for a huge XRP gift. It's really easy to enter the giveaway. It's easy, just follow these 3 steps. So make sure you're ready and tuned in. Don't forget to leave a code for #CoinGraph in the comments to make sure you get into the giveaway. Let's dive into the interesting world of XRP and see what's new today. When you look at the numbers more closely, it's clear that BlackRock's record in getting ETF approvals is almost perfect. BlackRock's move into cryptocurrencies and Web 3.0 marks a major change in how standard finance views digital currencies. BlackRock is the world leader in asset management. Their almost perfect track record of approving ETFs shows how well they know how to navigate the financial market. Remember that BlackRock's ETF acceptance rate is an amazing 99.8%, which makes them an unbeatable force in the world of ETFs. It's important to look at the big picture here. Big banks like BlackRock and JP Morgan have been interested in XRP for a while now. They have been busy gathering it. Reports including a paper that got out say that these big names have put more than 7.5% of their entire wealth into XRP. A recent story that had been carefully checked out even hinted that BlackRock might be switching its complete focus from Bitcoin to XRP, which would be a big change in how they spend their money. This action shows that people are becoming more interested in XRP, which makes the idea of a black-backed XRP ETF more likely than ever. Now though, things get even more interesting. Someone new has come into the XRP story. The fact that there is an XRP ETP, the person who made this ETP is still a secret, but the fact that it exists is a big step toward an ETF. Reports say that the XRP ETP has been started, but it's still in the pre-release process and has no value. It should be revealed any day now. There's more. People are talking about the possibility of launching an XRP ETF at the same time as the ETP. This simultaneous release not only makes sense, but it also shows how quickly things are moving toward the ETF. It could come just a few weeks after the start of a Bitcoin ETF. Taking this into account and keeping in mind that Bitcoin's price rose to $43,000 before its ETF start, XRP has huge potential. The value of XRP could go through the roof once its ETF hits the market, going as high as $1,650 or even $25,500. Listen up, because this isn't as crazy as it sounds. Since the XRP ETP has already gone live, an XRP ETF will be possible in just a few weeks. Many people don't know this, but Vidal, a giant in the financial world, has publicly released the product that can be swapped for XRP. This means that things are moving quickly toward the start of an XRP ETF. The US Securities and Exchange Commission is expected to give its approval soon. We even talked about a newly released piece yesterday. It was revealed that an XRP ETF might be on the way thanks to a study that was leaked from BlackRock. This report showed that an ETF filing for XRP was about to happen. To make things even more exciting, a top BlackRock expert confirmed in public that a BlackRock ETF would be launched just for XRP. It got so bad that they talked about the iShares XRP trust in an ATF document. At first I wasn't sure about this, but I checked it out myself, and sure enough it's on the Delaware list of companies online. This is an exciting development that shows how close we are to seeing a big change in XRP's market position, maybe even bigger than the changes we've seen with Bitcoin's ETF. A big change in the crypto world has been made clear by new study. BlackRock and JP Morgan have both bought more than 7.5 million XRP, which is a clear sign that big companies are interested in cryptocurrencies. BlackRock is not only hoarding XRP, but they are also using the XRP system in their business, and most importantly moving forward with the public release of an XRP ETF. Since BlackRock has almost a perfect track record of approving ETFs, it is very likely that the XRP ETF will be approved. You can't say enough about how much an XRP ETF changes its value. So even though a gold price of $9,831 for XRP seems high, it starts to make sense when you look at all the important events that are happening at the same time. Take a look. Given the huge amounts involved, XRP is likely to become an important tool for managing global loan deals. It's possible for $1.8 to $1.3 quadrillion to move through the XRP system, with the ISDA being the main driver. Along with this, the BRICS countries, which include Saudi Arabia, are all adding the XRP ledger to their systems. Also, the Republic of Palau is using the XRP ledger to build its central bank's digital currency. In this case, there is a traditional case of high volume, high demand and limited supply, which means that the value of each XRP coin should go through the roof. So this is something that's been getting a lot of attention lately. Some people think that my excitement about XRP is just a dream. Okay, so maybe they're right. But let me say this, I really believe in this hopium. As I take a deep breath, I roll it up into a big one and light it up. That's really strong stuff. I really believe in hope. It keeps you going, especially when things are bad and you're barely hanging on. That's fine if you don't believe in hope and think it's all just wishful thought. That's not a bad thing though. Let's help each other out. That's what I tell myself. Less than that feels like throwing tokens into space, which is not what we're after. We're here to keep things calm. Also, since we're talking about good things, I love how interesting the talks are and how you all present different points of view. It makes your mind work really hard. A good point was made about organizations and XRP. They don't have to buy XRP, certainly. You could also lease it. That is an interesting thought, isn't it? So I had an interesting thought. What would happen if XRP was only bought by regular people? In order to learn more about this, I even asked ChatGPT how many transactions happen every day on the SWIFT system. The number was over $7 trillion, which was really crazy. It's important to remember that this only includes foreign trade. It doesn't count the swaps market, which is worth quadrillions, nor does it include smart contracts, NFTs, or tokenized assets like real estate. Now think about how XRP could be used in all of these areas. The only thing that SWIFT does is foreign trade, so let's stick to that. What might happen if XRP, with its 1,700 connections, yes, Ripple and XRP have really set a high bar here, had to handle just $3 trillion of that every day? That's less than half of the $7 trillion. In that case, the system would have to hold $3 trillion for that day. Should this happen, the price of XRP could go over $150